Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let it take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome to Wisconsin Family. I'm Janet Crescent.
And I'm Justin Riley, and we are at a new location today. This is Trax Hobbies and RC Raceway. And not only is this a new location to us, but this is a new location to the Madison area.
To Madison, yeah.
Yep.
This is off of Todd Drive, and it's full of remote-controlled planes and cars and rockets and drones.
Drones, planes, trains, and automobiles, and drones.
And drones.
So we're going to talk with Michael a little bit later, and one of the things that's really interesting is that a lot of people, when they think these types of hobby stores and hobby equipment, they think, well, this is for the professional hobbyist, so to speak. But this is something that you can really get your family involved in, which is why we're here today. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and Michael, the owner, his kids are involved, and we're going to talk with one of his kids today too. So that'll be fun.
His 12-year-old son Shan is going to join us and
Yep.
tell us which drone is his favorite and why.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. No real good transition here, but
No.
dogs. We're going to switch to dogs. We're just switching gears to dogs. So Nate Mathis Vargas from Doghouse University is going to join us and talk a little bit about considerations that you can make when you are choosing a dog sitter or a doggy daycare.
And when you're going to the dog
Yes.
park, things to keep an eye out for. Keep an eye on your dog.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
ensure a better visit at the dog park. We're also talking CrossFit. CrossFit Recursive is a CrossFit gym here in Madison, and we have the owners as well as the coaches for that establishment telling us about how that can be a family-friendly place as well.
Yeah, and it's something that's available for, or doable, I should say, for people of all ability levels, all ages. So that'll be coming up right after the break. We'll learn about that here in Wisconsin Family, so stick around.
'Cause every day is a new day. 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. Today we are filming at Trax Hobbies. This is a brand new store where they have radio-controlled airplanes, boats, cars, trucks, and drones. And we're going to learn a lot more about the drones they have here. I'm really looking forward to
I'm
that.
really looking
He's
forward
really
to
looking forward to that. Right now we're talking CrossFit, and with us we have Dirk and Nicole Gessler. They are the owners and coaches at CrossFit Recursive on Williamson Street. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start out for folks that are still catching up with the rest of us, in case they haven't seen you before. What is CrossFit? A quick primer on it.
CrossFit is, well, basically we just take a bunch of fun exercises and we get people moving safely and effectively in a very exciting environment, which makes coming back and sticking with it much easier.
We know that the CrossFit Games are coming, that they've been held in California for ever since they started, what, 7 years ago?
Yep.
So this is a big deal that the CrossFit Games are coming here to Madison, and they determined that the folks that are competing are the strongest, the fittest people on
Earth.
Yep.
Yeah.
But even we can still do CrossFit.
Right.
Right, and that's something that I think people need to understand is that, you know, the CrossFit Games are fun and everything, but you don't need to participate in the CrossFit Games or even
No.
be able to, you know,
Right.
in any
Right.
way participate in the CrossFit Games to do CrossFit.
Absolutely.
So do you guys, talk a little bit about the range of ability levels that you guys have in your gym when people first walk in through the doors?
We have all ranges of people, all ranges of ages and athletic abilities. You talk about the CrossFit Games, it's kind of like the Super Bowl, right? You've got the football players that play in the Super Bowl, but then you've got like your weekend, you know, tag football and the little Pee Wee leagues and stuff like that. It's the same thing with CrossFit. So we've got the people coming off the couch, we've got kids, you know, getting up and moving for the first time, adults of all ages, people, you know, we have a good older generation, people just coming in, they want to stay out of nursing homes, they want to get up and be mobile and be able to be independent. So we really have programs and exercises and movements and scaling options for all levels. Everybody can come in and get what they need out of a CrossFit workout.
I think I've read that athletes like it because it takes them back to their training days, and non-athletes like it because they feel like an athlete.
Right. We call everybody an athlete at the gym, whether you're just coming in, whether you've been with us forever, everybody's an athlete at our gym.
And one thing I think that you are really good at is making people feel comfortable. When people are new, maybe not active at all,
Right.
they're a little nervous. So what can you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely our biggest thing, is to make people comfortable, having people come in the first time. We have people that, they talk to us and like, I have a lot of anxiety about coming in. I don't know what to expect the first time. And that's why we have that no sweat intro where they come in and learn, like, this is what your first class is going to be like. This is how we're going to get you started. So we really try to make them feel very comfortable. And, you are kind of stepping out of your comfort zone when you come into the gym for the first time. And we want people to make sure that they're getting what they need.
Absolutely, very important there. And something else that's really important that I think people who maybe start their own exercise programs don't take into consideration is nutrition.
Right.
And that's important no matter whether you're doing a hardcore exercise routine or you just want to be healthy. It's important for the whole family. So talk to us a little bit about some of the nutritional services that you guys offer.
Yeah, we have. We really believe that nutrition is the basis for the fitness pyramid, right? So if you don't have good nutrition, you're not going to be able to work out as hard as you want. You're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do. And so we have a nutrition program. We have a nutrition coach. We work with a registered dietitian, and there's a couple of different ways that people can get started with that. We have the same thing if you're going to get started with a workout program. If you want to get started with a nutrition program, we have you come in, sit down, find out what your goals are, how we can help you in the best way to get started with that.
What are some can you give us some tips on nutrition, like in general, if you're planning to push yourself athletically, maybe a little bit further beyond your comfort level? What are some things that people should think about eating or consuming regularly in order to be able to do that?
I think one thing is that fats are not bad for you. Well, you don't want to go for the low fat, non-fat stuff. You want the full fat. You need fat. It helps your brain grow, helps with that elasticity in your brain. We need fat. We also need carbs too. We don't want to be low carb or no carb. But how we get our carbs is super important. We want to get them from the fruits and the vegetables, not the flour or the grains.
The Doritos.
The Doritos. Yeah. Yeah.
No more Doritos, Justin.
Sorry, Justin. I didn't mean to burst your bubble
Sorry,
there.
I can't talk to people anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, this is Wisconsin Family, and I don't know if people actually think about CrossFit as being a family-friendly thing. And actually, we have Mom and Dad and Olivia, their daughter, is off camera, and it's truly a family affair over at your gym. Talk to that a little bit.
Yeah.
We take, in regular classes, we take 12-year-old and up. They can do everything everybody else can. They learn to move safely just like everybody else. But they can start that and get that kind of ingrained early. We also have a small child's play area for kids to hang out in while the parents work out, because we want to remove as many excuses as we possibly can for working out. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick before we go, we got about a minute left. How can somebody get started at CrossFit? What are the first steps?
You can go to our website, CrossFitRecursive.com, and schedule a no sweat intro, as she was talking about earlier, and we'll get you in, and we'll set goals and figure out where you want to be and get you there.
And when you say no sweat, I mean you're not going to say, "Hey, let's do a workout real quick," so that you're sore the next day. I mean,
No.
you really get.
It's literal.
Yeah, no, it's literal. We're going to take you, we're going to sit down, we're going to talk about what your goals are and the best way to get started. We have a lot of different programs. It's not just a CrossFit gym. We have other ways that people can get up and get moving as well. And then we're going to take a tour and tell you, like, hey, bring an extra pair of shoes. This is where you fill your water bottle. This is where you go to the bathroom. This is where you change. So you're really comfortable that first day that you actually come in and work out with us.
Right.
That's excellent. A great idea. Thanks. Dirk and Nicole Gessler, owners of CrossFit Recursive Gym. They're on Williamson Street. And we are at Tracks and Hobbies. We'll be right back.
'Cause every day is a new day. 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We are filming here at Tracks, Hobbies, and RC Raceway. It's a brand new place over off of Todd Drive, and we're going to talk with Michael and his son Cheyenne in a little while about drones. So I'm really pumped about that.
I know you are.
So we're at Tracks, but actually right now we're going to head over to the Doghouse a little bit. That is Doghouse University, and we're joined now by Nate Mathis Vargas. How are you, Nate?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, great. Good to have you back with us.
Thanks.
And let's talk a little bit about dog sitting, because that's a big part of what you guys do
It
over
is.
at Doghouse University. And if, let's say, an owner wants to take their own dog, first of all, wants to take their own dog to a dog park, and there's other dogs there, and they're interacting the way dogs often do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different from how humans interact with each other. And so what should people be looking for? Is there anything that people should be concerned about when they're watching their dogs interact with other dogs?
Absolutely. a lot of times people get a little bit nervous when dogs are playing because they don't know how to read the signals the dogs are giving each other. So you want to listen for the volume of the dogs while they're playing. If you notice they're playing for a while and the volume starts to get a little bit higher and higher, those dogs are kind of need a break from each other.
Okay.
When they all kind of pack together, like someone might be overwhelmed by getting 2 or 3 dogs playing with them at the same time. You want to make sure that your dog's playing appropriately and respecting the other dogs that are at the dog park. So if you notice your dog is always constantly like running to other dogs that are playing and kind of budging in, just kind of call them back and make sure that they're learning that they can play but not like that.
Okay.
Also, if your dog is tending to run toward the fence where the entry is and the dogs, coming in are being greeted right away by your dog, or you notice a dog as you're going into the dog park that's right there by the fence, a lot of dogs sometimes will be there and they get a little too excited about it, and sometimes it might be an issue with the dog coming in that might get overwhelmed and they can react to that. So you want to make sure that, your entry into the dog park is appropriate, and while the dogs are playing with each other is going well by just paying attention to what the body language and the speed of everything.
So these are things that a dog owner should pay attention for in their own dogs.
Yes.
And watch for so that they can make sure that they're not overwhelming or triggering in some way another dog that comes in.
I mean, you're responsible for your dog while you're at the dog park,
of
and
course.
you want to make sure that your dog is social and behaves properly, and your dog isn't the one that everyone's like, oh God, why'd you bring your dog here? So the more you pay attention to the things they're doing while they're playing, the easier it's going to be for you to be at the dog park, because it should be a fun environment for everybody.
I think the key words there are paying attention. How many people are doing this when they're at the dog park?
Just go play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people bring toys, and there's some dogs who don't share toys very well. So, I mean, if you get your dog to just like run around and exercise with the other dogs and not bring things that's going to start a thing with other dogs, might be a better recommendation. You could play with the throw toy at home in your backyard or what have you, but those things tend to get the dogs overstimulated at a dog park.
Sure. Yeah.
So most of the tips that you gave were dogs that might be, I don't know, like you said, budging in or creating a situation perhaps. What about the flip side, a dog that's maybe anxious?
The dogs who get a little anxious, they're going to be a little bit more shy. So when dogs come up, they might cower down a little bit, or they might roll over. Those dogs tend to be a little bit more sensitive to the greetings, especially. So just making sure that you're telling them it's okay. You're giving them positive cues when they meet dogs. You're trying to reinforce the behavior of it's good to meet other dogs and be social. It really helps them along, because otherwise there tends to be a defense to them. They're really nervous about being scared or being attacked, basically,
Sure.
and they will react to that. So.
And they'll feed off of your behavior. So if you're
Exactly.
light and upbeat,
Exactly.
that'll
they,
help.
They read body language a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. So doggy daycare is your expertise. So let's talk a little bit about that. What should pet owners look for if they're considering getting a dog sitter or pet sitter for their canine friend?
You want to make sure, first of all, that it's not just a person doing it off of nowhere. They have no experience. So, I mean, a good, reputable pet sitter should have insurance for your home, and they should also be bonded. The staff that they have should be bonded, all of them, that you can make sure that they're, safe to be, because you're trusting people with keys to your house and being there when you're not. And then I should also know a lot about, different medical things that could happen with your dog. They should be CPR trained. They should be, understand that when you take a dog on a walk, that there's, leash laws and things like that. It shouldn't just be someone who just does it kind of for fun. I mean, it's serious business.
Right. And this is for if you want to have somebody dog sit your dog in your own home, is what you're referring to.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or if you want the person to take the dog with them to your house too, that the person has, a home that's safe for your dog.
Right.
I mean, we do meet and greets with dogs before we meet them, just so the dog gets to know the caretaker, especially if they're not ones that we normally have at daycare, because it makes the transition from their people to us a lot easier. If they see us meet their people ahead of time, it gives them a sense of, oh, well, I trust you, my parents seem to like you, they've had you at our house before, and I can go with you, or I trust you to come into our house when they're not here. And that is a really big thing with pet sitting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those little introductions ahead of time can really go a long way.
It does, it really does.
Yeah.
Yep. So much great information, and we are out of time. Nate Mathis Vargas joined us from Doghouse University. Thanks so much for the information today.
Absolutely, thanks for having us.
Don't go away. We'll be right back at Wisconsin Family here at Trax Hobbies and RC Raceway. Stick around. Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. Janet and I have been here at Trax Hobbies and RC Raceway, and I've just been super pumped up for this moment right now because I love this kind of stuff. We are talking now with Michael and Cheyenne. And Cheyenne, Michael is your dad. What a cool dad to have, right?
Probably the coolest dad ever.
So, Michael, you were on Talk of the Town recently, but for those of our viewers who maybe missed that segment, can you tell us a little bit about this place that we're at right now?
Sure, absolutely. So Trax Hobbies is a new full-line retail hobby store in Medicine that specializes in static and remote control vehicles. And by vehicles, I mean that we offer cars and trucks and boats and planes and even drones, as you can see here.
Wow.
And we're a very family-centric environment. We're set up a hobby store with multi-circuit raceway where customers can come to enjoy many of the products that we feature inside the store.
And there are many. I was looking at your website, and you do have quite a few things here.
Yes.
Things I didn't
Yes.
even know existed. So you mentioned it's a family-centric environment. Shane, what do you think kids can do when they get here? What will they find?
Lots of fun stuff. You can play Pokemon with your friends. You can run slot cars on the slot car track. You can race remote control cars on the RC track. We even have a place where you can build your cars. And yeah, cool stuff like that.
I didn't know you could build your own cars here too.
Yeah, so many of our products are hobby grade products, in fact, most of them. And what that means is you can elect to actually build these products, and so that you understand how to maintain them, you can tune them and even upgrade them. And some of that you can even be done here at Trax Hobbies.
What a neat project for a kid.
Absolutely, and I see that you guys, these are drones
Yes.
that you're holding right now, and I see we have 3 different sizes. We've got, the mini, the medium, and then the Mac Daddy. So tell us a little bit about all 3 of these and the differences between all of them and just in general what you guys have to offer for drones.
Yeah, so what these are representing is the 3 categories of drones that exist in the market today. The first category would be the aerial camera type of drone.
Okay.
The second category is the stunt type of drone, which Shane is holding, this little white guy.
Okay.
And the third category is this real fancy, slick red racing drone.
Okay. Wow. So there's different models then I assume then with each of these categories that you can find.
Yes, absolutely. And what
Right.
differentiates them is their features, their complexity, of course their price point,
Right.
and what customer their age and skill demographic that they're intended for.
Right.
So there's multiples in each of these categories.
Absolutely.
With price point and fancy features and things like that.
Absolutely.
You can't fly those inside here, can you?
Some drones you can fly inside
Wow.
if they're small enough. We didn't bring one, but there's one that's about half this size. It's a stunt drone that's made specifically for flying indoors.
That'd be kind of neat to see the stunt. I didn't
Right.
know there was even a stunt drone.
Yes.
I just think of the camera ones.
Yes.
Right. And I think one thing that's important to note, and just to go a little bit off course here, but you and I have talked, Michael, about how people often will come in and they say, well, I want to buy a drone for my 10-year-old. He really likes them. And then one of the first questions you ask is, has he ever done it before? Has he ever flown a drone before? And
Right.
what does he hope to be able to do with it?
Right.
Because there's different levels. There's different types. All these are kind of designed towards different ability levels, as I understand.
Absolutely. Different skill levels, different experience levels, different age levels.
Right.
It's very important that the right person is paired up with the right type
Right.
of drone,
Right.
both for fun as well as, more importantly, for safety.
Right. And you guys, you take the time to talk to customers and make sure that they're getting fit with the right drone. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think that's perhaps the most important thing that we do here and the best service that we can offer.
Okay.
Cheyenne.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Cheyenne, which is your favorite?
I like the drone racer because it's the most easiest to fly. It looks awesome and it's very fast.
And
Okay.
one interesting thing about this drone racer, and we actually have the display here from Kyosho, it's a very new product on the market, super innovative in that it's the first drone and only drone of its kind to use the very popular transmitter from a car or a remote control boat.
okay.
So that means that anyone with experience using this type of transmitter, which are many out
Yeah.
in the public, they can quickly operate this in a safe manner.
It's very intuitive to them, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. Most of the drones that we carry, like this big guy here you mentioned, use this control station over here, which is very complex.
Yeah.
Or this white one here uses this type of dual stick controller. And just because of the complexity and the price points of those types of machinery, it becomes more challenging to operate a drone like this. So this one is, I would have thought, would be his favorite as well.
Okay. You know your son well. That's good. That's good. So you had mentioned FPV, which stands for first person view, correct? And can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, so there's different ways to operate these types of drones. There's line of sight and FPV. So line of sight is essentially when the drone is flying in the air and you, the operator on the ground, is looking at it directly and monitoring where it's flying. That's the line of sight. So keeping the drone within your line of sight is very important for things like stunt drones like this, or a racing drone if you're competing with other people. The alternative to that would be FPV, or first person view. And that FPV offers the ability for the operator to view the flying dynamic from the view of the drone itself. So with FPV, you need equipment besides a transmitter. You need equipment like a goggles, like you have here. So this is an FPV goggles, and then you also need a monitor, something like this, and this can fit either on a transmitter, or it can fit inside the goggles, so that the operator can then completely fly the drone by looking through here.
It's like a virtual reality thing.
It's very VR.
Wow.
Yes.
So when you say first person view, it's really kind of the drone's view.
It is the drone's view. You are acting as in the view of the drone.
Wow. Okay. So that screen that you have there, that can be used just separate from the goggles.
Absolutely.
If you want to do that, and then if you want to, enhance the experience, you can also put it in the goggles as well.
Right. This can be more of a group experience. Pass it around with you and your friends, and everybody can see what the drone can see wherever it's flying. And this is a little bit more VR. With a personal experience and getting the full immersion of sound and audio.
That's awesome.
How neat that it can go either way like that.
Yes, absolutely. And each of the drones tend to feature cameras on the front, which then will capture all of that.
So, that's all really cool, and we have about 45 seconds left, so I want to make sure that we get a chance to talk about a little bit more about how you fit the drone to the person and the experience level. So talk to us a little bit about some of the questions you might ask.
Yeah, well, the first and perhaps most important question to ask is, what do they intend to do with this product? What do they know about it? There's so much, obviously, you can read nowadays online through social media, and so much information that you can gather, but sometimes that can be conflicting or rather confusing. So some of the questions we might ask is, what are you intend to do with the drone? What do you know about them? And do you have any experience with the drone? Beyond questions like age demographics, how old are they? Where do they tend to operate it, and so forth.
Yeah, lots of good tips there. So Michael and Cheyenne, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for having us here today.
Our pleasure.
Thank you to all of our viewers. We're Wisconsin Family, and we'll see you next time.
The beat, clap your hands, let's take control.